And that looks like a dent in the pan.
Before we put the blower on this thing, and actually before we put the new MSD 600 on here that we're going to try, Camille wanted me to do the other part of this whole deal, which is this whole tailpipe, because this entire system is a water jacketed exhaust all the way out through the transom into the water. So, maybe you guys have been wondering, why did he even start with those small camshafts? The small camshafts was because we only need to make peak power in that 6,500 RPM range. And we're trying to control overlap, because what happens on all water jacketed runners or headers is they have reversion. Great big cams, great big engines will suck water right back up at idle. Not running RPM. This is common. This isn't every single marine engine there is, period. Have to control camshafts because they will suck water right back up in the engine. Kill the O2 sensor is the best case scenario. If it sucks all the way back up in here, you shut it off when it's idling and it's got a little bit of water, it just fills up with water. Okay? So that's why we were starting off with smaller camshafts, trying to make sure that we didn't have too much overlap, that we were controlling this so it would not suck water back up into here. So, Camille wanted me to test this and see, because we are much larger than what we originally anticipated doing, or what I was anticipating doing, to try making everything work and run here. And so now I have gone and bought all the 5-inch piping, because this is not an outside wall. There's a room back here that's my header room that has exhaust mufflers in there. So bought all the straight pipe I could get, flex pipe, connected it all so I can get water to run outside the building, way out there. And now we're just going to, I leave it on disconnected, and we're just going to start this up and idle it, rev it up in a couple different positions, different RPMs, and figure out if this O2 sensor is getting wet. Look right down in there and see if there's water, because water comes from here. This is all sealed, okay? Water crosses over these 3 tubes here, then water jackets this all the way, and then this is basically the outlet of the boat. All right. So there is no water except right here, and then comes out. All right. Now, other good points. Good questions. Everybody was commenting on maybe it is the throttle body. Now, this is the biggest. This is a Wilson 5-inch, 123 millimeter throttle body. If there was a restriction right here, it would show up as manifold vacuum here. Since at low RPM, everything, any part of wide open throttle, the map is like dead on flat. If this was the restriction, it would cause a restriction here, which would show up as vacuum. So it's not too small. Could it be bigger? I don't know. I guess you could put 5 of them on here if you wanted to. But probably the only thing that I am considering, or 2 things I'm considering on this whole deal, is compression ratio affecting the efficiency of it at higher RPM. And, boost fixes everything. When you put boost on this, it's pressurizing this, raising your dynamic, your running compression ratio, making it more efficient, and it's just adding air. That's what it does.
Making the air more dense.
Making it more air dense. So that's gonna fix it. That's never really been an issue or a question. I think it is possible that we do have some issues with, and it doesn't pick on 6, or it picks on 5, 7, and these. Oh, I have been reading plugs. I've read plugs about 55,000 times on this particular engine. I just haven't showed you every single time, everything we do. I would bore you to death. All right. So I've checked plugs. Yes, these 2 cylinders are always richer. Number 5 is always the richest. It could have something to do with the intake manifold, engine RPM. Short runners make RPM, not long runners. Long runners fine tune a certain resonant intake pulse that will might pick up a good spot at a higher RPM. That's really hard to figure out. But in general, it is always a matter of how soon can you get air that's in the plenum into the combustion chamber. Shorter runner, shorter time frame at higher RPM. The faster the engine RPM, the shorter amount of time it has to fill the cylinder. It needs to have access into the plenum area. This is not a NA intake manifold, not even remotely freaking close. Not even on the same planet as a NA intake manifold. This is a boosted intake manifold. So it's probably something similar into there. It could probably definitely use a whole bunch more camshaft, a whole bunch more exhaust, but we have to make it run in the application that it is. Everything is a compromise, everything is something like that, okay? So this is not, we're just trying to build a maximum effort 903 cubic inch engine. It'd be totally different, okay? That's not what this is. The exhaust has to be in water. It's gonna have reversion. That is 100% normal. Every boat engine in the world does that. It sucks if you have too much camshaft in any boat engine that the exhaust is wet, not dry. You could have like Finnegan's boat, that's a dry exhaust system. Totally different. This is wet. And the exhaust at idle is, when the boat is just idling and cruising, the exhaust is literally underwater. So all of these things are all playing into the effect of how we got to design something. So some of these things we might have to figure out, but we'll check this out and see what it does. And then while I'm waiting for my new coils, I had high output, the HP coils coming for the MSD 600 and have a new box. So we're gonna try in some other stuff there before we put the blower on. And then once we get the blower on, we'll come right back and start doing the boost. All right, have not started anything yet. Everything's cool. Let's take this O2 sensor out. It's pretty easy to see, pretty easy access. Now we've been testing this with running wet header, but I was, instead of sending out the exhaust, I've been sending it out and made lines and stuff on the backside of this, that the water was going through the header here, but not through a tailpipe. So the O2 sensor is in a straight pipe over there. You can see that one right there. Beep, 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 beep. Psh, right there. All right, so that part of it is dry. And we can see here, that is one dry, chalky. Let's see, how do I get that in focus? Doop, doop, doop. Well, you can see it's dry. We'll start this up, get it idling, and then we'll turn the water on. I'm not going to plug this in because I don't want to ruin the O2 sensor. I'll just let it get wet and we'll see. Might even be able to, I'm going to leave this out and just see if it physically might blow a little bit of water out. If it was really, really bad, it would blow water out. So let's see what that does. See if I can get you a little closer look there. There's our O2 bung. Right there. All right. Cap off a freaking hose here. It's undone. Well, I didn't see anything blowing out right there, so that's good. I mean, look in the pipe. Oh, that is dry. All right, but I gotta make sure, because I had the had the cap off. It was definitely moving water. It was definitely leaking because none of this is sealed up tight system. Although it should be pretty close, but all right, so we're gonna go after this again. I'm gonna check the rest of my stuff and see if everything's working right. actually looking pretty good. You can see right here, there's water going through it because it's leaking. There's this water. I'm just holding the exhaust pipe. So it's full of water. There's water everywhere. All right, let's look down that pipe. That is pretty good. Yep, better turn the water off. So it's running right now, water. I'm not running it with a sea pump. All right, take a look in there. Very good. It is dry. That is dry. That is fantastic. All right. I think that is mission accomplished right there. That is pretty good. I think I'm gonna just put the O2 sensor in there. Make sure it's not getting some kind of residual stuff. We'll be able to look at it, make sure, see that it's looking all right. We'll try putting it under some load. Now I'm not gonna plug it in again. We'll kind of see what this does. That might be a really accurate test, but that was totally bad because I forgot to turn the water on. Let's just see if there's any residual in here. No. Let me go start up and then turn the water back on. I would say that is very good. So super happy about that. I know Camille's gonna be super happy about that.
Or maybe hold the bucket at the end of the pipe.
Yeah, maybe something like that, yeah. All right, so little FYI. All interesting stuff. Now, I think we're going to get our ignition system, start putting that on, do some testing. Not gonna bother showing you that. Next thing you see will be some supercharger on there. Alrighty, boost in the house. Now, this engine was built for boost. It's on boost. We need to run it on boost. I think we got a little sidetracked. I'm gonna talk about that some more as we're starting to run this thing. So we're pretty excited because boost fixes everything. And I'm sure it's gonna fix this thing like nobody's business. So we're running a little bit slow. We're gonna see where we're making for horsepower. Remember, this thing is on 93 octane fuel. Fuel from whatever he's gonna get in Reno, which is really not gonna be 93 octane. He's gonna have to do a little something on it. But the whole point is to be pump gas. Pump gas. So, all right, let's get this thing rolling. Oh, but first, check this out. Alrighty, this is a really cool engine I'm really excited about because there's nothing else out there like it. So what we had wanted to do was we wanted to have that really cool LS style package where Magnus and Supercharger, all the accessory drive, all clean, compact, really works nice for a big block Chevrolet. For everybody's regular old big block Chevrolet. Nobody does anything like that until now, because we did it. And what we've done is we make all the bracketry, actually Accelerator 2 makes all the bracketry, so we're still refining just a couple things there. But billet intake manifold for your big block Chevrolet that just takes the common Magnuson 2650 with the intercooler brick, just like it does on an LS or Coyote or Gen 3 Hemi. The same package for a big block Chevrolet. Also, before I forget to tell you this thing is 16 inches from the China wall up to here. This is about 4 inches taller than your common big block Chevrolet intake manifold carburetor with an air filter. About 4 inches taller, but way shorter than any other positive displacement blower with carbs or a hat or whatever on top. So 4 inches taller than your regular big block Chevrolet intake and carburetor with an air filter on it. And this thing makes some serious horsepower. Now we're gonna do a complete build up on this engine coming up, dyno session, everything that's in the engine, how we build it, all that kind of happy stuff. But for right now, we're just giving you a teaser. Also, people ask every once in a while, oh, I didn't know how long ago you did the video, blah, blah, blah. Most of the time we do these videos the same day you see them. And today is September 11th, so we need to take a pause and think about all of the people that sacrificed on September 11th. All right, now back over to the big black Hemi with boost. I'm gonna go turn the water on for the headers. We'll just make a short pull, not all the way up. Come back, take a look at the numbers. You just saw me make that just a steady pull, just kind of get the brake set. And
Header, exhaust, something.
Alright, blew the exhaust off. Probably disregard this. Oh boy. Sure do.
I saw that first before the exhaust blew off. It started smoking right there.
Yeah.
And that looks like a dent in the pan.
Yeah, I don't see anything over on this side, but or anything down.
Yeah, something came apart.
Alright. Well,
The dent right there from something hitting it, but the whole pan up here on the pan rail, that whole section's pushed out right above this fitting here.
Mm-hmm. Not good.
That's not good. That's not good at all.
well, as you saw right there, I mean, it blew the exhaust off it, but it blew something else too. It made 16. You can see the trajectory it was heading here, so it was going to jump up here and then take off. 1685 foot-pounds of torque at 4,900 RPM. But maybe we'll find out why it's what's going on, because it's broke. And if something is going on here in the pan, it doesn't look like a connecting rod because there's no real, well, there's one dent there, isn't there? Yeah.
Well,
But
there's
it's not on the bottom.
nothing on the bottom, nothing on the other side, but there's that dent there,
Yeah.
and it pushed out the whole.
And it pushed out the pan. So there's something that's broke here. And we're just gonna have to regroup. And so kind of a cluster cuss, but we'll end up persevering and making our way through it. It is what it is. We'll get it figured out. So let's go back over to something better. the pores of the material. This impregnates into material. Getting my we're definitely getting the RevX in this, but this thing's all ready. We're putting it in the van and sending it out for sick week.
Nope.
Oh, we're putting it in the van and sending it out for drag week. I'm gonna be riding with Tom Bailey, the hunt for fives again, since we did fives 5 years ago with this engine. Hunting for fives again, 5-second average, Lord willing. We'll see how it all goes. You never know. So far, it's broken the car several times, and so they're trying to fix that all deal. And so, anyways, I won't be there with my car. I'm gonna be there with Tom. So, catch up with us then. Dewey, get out. Dewey, Dewey, come on, get out, get out. Get out, go. Walks back. That's a wrap.
I can tell you right now, the vent is in line with that counterweight. At least it looks that way. Now we just need to figure out why. The straps are still on.
That's what it grabbed. Okay.
You would think that something would have had to hit the oil pan to break it. But I'm not seeing any broken rods, and I'm not seeing any scraps. I don't think it knocked the thrust bearing out.
Let's see.
The rods all have side play still. The crank's got thrust.
Yeah.
A little bit, not a ton.
No, it didn't. All right. Wow. Well, we're gonna take a little closer look at this. I'll stick my hand right here, but this thing is like, I don't think it's broke. Holy cow!
Just break.
But this oil pan, which we had spent hours and hours and hours trying to modify and build so it would fit in the boat over there, it's very obvious that this piece of side rail right here. So I had this one. This used to be the same shape right here. Used to go all the way across, and so it probably vibrated, and it must have just something broke, and it grabbed it. But it's amazing that how much or how little damage it did. It didn't send anything up. I mean, that stuff is like amazingly good.
And there's a rod bowl with a little piece of aluminum on it, but that's it.
Yeah, we'll check that all out, but oh dang, maybe it's not the end of the world after all. So, but I'm not gonna weld this thing up. I'm not gonna put this thing back on. We gotta get a real pan, or gotta get something. It's totally, pretty much destroyed anyways. So I'm going to call over to Camille and start talking about what we're gonna do here. Darn, but yay. I thought maybe it was really bad, and this is probably one of the best case scenarios, was to see something like this where it blows out, has something there. But what was weird was that there was no other dings anywhere else in the pan, just this one spot over there. And this explains why. It just, something happened right here and caught this, something broke in the weld, something happened, and it caught it and messed and broke the oil pan, sent some stuff around, but man, it's super clean right there. So I think we're just going to be able to get in here, clean stuff out, verify everything, make sure everything's okay, and I think we're good. That's good news. Alrighty, update. We're going to tear into it a little bit further, but it looks amazingly good for stuff flying around in there. I mean, amazingly good. And Williams Manufacturing in California, Mickey Williams, they do a lot of our custom oil pans. He's going to knock a pan out for me sometime next week. So update, we just sent the oil pan to him, Next Day Air, California. He's gonna duplicate it, but not be a piece of crap. It'll be something nice that I didn't cobble up and fudge up. So, actually, I figured out it actually wasn't my weld that broke, it was a previous weld that broke. But anyways, so update, that'll be coming up. I'm not even gonna take this thing off of the dyno until we get back from drag week, and Lord willing, drag week will go a little bit better than this thing, and a whole lot better than this thing. And we'll hopefully have the oil pan, and we'll come right back into this thing because everything looks great in the engine. Just one more catastrophe after another. Stay tuned. Like, subscribe, check your subscription, leave a comment. Gotta try recouping some money somewhere down the road here. Anyways, have a great day.